his first word ever was actually fishes. Like, that is just unreal. He loved it, and I was like, I have to recreate this.
What is up, all you planet, tank, green thumb, having, fish keeping funkadelics out there? You watching Aqua Funk. And I want to do a little spotlight. A spotlight on a guy, because check it out. This is why I'm doing the spotlight. Alright, this is the real reason. The real reason why I'm doing the spotlight is because I'm out here in Florida and it's, you know, the weather's getting warm again. And I want to do some things outside with plants. Because I can't do things inside with plants because I kill them. Mainly because I'm too cheap to buy lights. But Florida providing lights. It's a sunshine state, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm going to try and take advantage. So I started looking around people's channels on plants and stuff, and it started getting kind of like, they started throwing all these, you know, words at me, the plant names. Anyway, it started getting confusing until I came across one dude in particular, Otter Aquatics, Kendall, exactly. And I was trying to figure out the best way for me to describe him. I would have to be like, it sounds bad, but I want to say basic. He put stuff in a very basic way without giving me too much mumbo jumbo that I could consume. And I found myself going down and checking out his video for, what was the other one? DIY root tabs. And I checked out another video on splitting plants because they're kind of expensive. And if you're just starting out, you know, splitting plants. So anyway, I called him up. I hooked up with him. I said, yo, we got to do something together. Da-da-da-da, blase blah, bing bong boom. Here we go. I got Kendall Aquatics. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself and his channel. So check him out.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome. I'm Kendall Otter from Otter Creek Aquatics. And first off, I just want to thank Aqua Funk for allowing me to come onto his channel. That way you guys can get to know me and my channel a little bit better. So he's got 5 questions for me, and we're going to go ahead and dive into those right now. So for question number 1, he asks, if you could describe your channel in 2 words, what would they be? So the first word would be educational. So a lot of my videos are tips and tricks on how to do certain things that I have learned over the years of being a hobbyist. That way you can grow your aquarium keeping skills if you're a new hobbyist, or even if you're a seasoned hobbyist but you see something that I do differently that you think might work better with your fish tank or in your fish room, then you could gain some experience and some knowledge from that as well. The second would be inspirational. So a lot of things that I do, I try to think outside the box, and I haven't really dived into a lot of it on the channel, but I definitely want to get into more of that. That way I can try to inspire people to go bigger, to think deeper in this hobby. And that could be either new people that are just starting out, that way they could go ahead and dive into some different DIY stuff, or even seasoned people that are kind of stuck in their own ways. That way they could just change things up a little bit and get to know their aquariums and just do things a little bit differently.
Alright, so look, I'm definitely going to co-sign on the educational part, because he definitely tells me stuff that I did not know. Look, I got some criteria when it comes to subbing people. One is, did you tell me something I didn't know before? If you did, I sub you. Or did you make me laugh? If you do, I sub you. And as far as giving me stuff I didn't know, he does that every time I watch a video. Always teaching me new things. But you know what, come think about it, it's not really that hard to teach me something new because I don't know much to begin with.
So question number 2 is, why did I start the hobby? So I actually was born into this hobby when I was younger. It was actually at our old house. So before I was in kindergarten, we had a 55-gallon tank, and the only thing that was housed in this tank was a pacu. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Pacus get completely massive, and it wasn't quite there yet. We actually had this fish for 10 years before we had to rehome it because it got too big. We probably could have rehomed it a little bit before that, but it got to the point where it could barely turn around in the tank without standing up on its nose. And from there, I helped my parents with the maintenance, did water changes, buckets, and it was just horrible, but I loved absolutely every minute of it.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Passing down the hobby generation to generation. I like it a lot. But let's get a little bit whimsical, a little bit of let's throw some imagination in it. I'm curious about this.
Number 3 is, in a world where there's no limitations, what is your dream tank and what would you stock in it? Plants, fish, etc. So, I know this may sound like a little cheesy, but I would have like 1,000 to 2,000 gallon tank, and it would be koi. Whatever plants I could get in there, I would put in there. But the reason that I chose this fish is because us as hobbyists, we normally see ponds or koi ponds, and we don't normally see the side of koi fish that is absolutely stunning. And that's the side that you can see them in a tank. Like, have you ever seen a koi in an actual tank? They look absolutely amazing, and when they get big enough, we normally don't have tanks that are big enough to house these fish. So I think that 1,000, 2,000 gallon tank like the King of DIY has filled with koi would be absolutely stunning. And I'm not sure exactly what type of koi I would put in there, but that's the route that I would go, just because it's not really seen in this hobby. And a lot of things have been done in this hobby, and I know people do keep kois in tanks, but when they get to a certain size, there's nobody that I have seen in this hobby that is doing that. So that is the route I would go.
Alright, so look, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wasn't expecting that answer from the plant guy. Not only that, I'm feeling a certain type of way because I personally has always wanted, I've even told people this before, I've always wanted a bar, like a man cave bar type deal, and behind the bar, I wanted butterfly koi. I wanted a big old tank. I wanted to build one day, a plywood tank or whatever, a big one, you know what I mean? With big butterfly koi for the same exact reason. Everybody always looks at them from the top, but if you look at from the side, you know, the scales, you get all the detail and the coloration and the metallic and the fins and all that. I might have more in common with Otter Creek than I want to admit.
Question number 4 is, who is your top 5 fish tubers? So, we dug into this question a little bit deeper just because, like, I didn't want to offend anybody. I watch so many people, it is absolutely unreal. But he told me, name the people that inspire you to do what you're doing. And the 5 that I came up with, the 5th one was pretty hard actually, but the 5 that I have came up with is Lucas Bretts over at LRB Aquatics and Flip Aquatics. So I'm going to group those 2 together because they are my inspiration for shrimp. Everything that I need to learn or need to know about shrimp, I can go to either one of those channels and they're going to provide me with that knowledge, or I can send them a question and they're more than happy to help, and that's completely awesome. So when it comes to my shrimp, those are the 2 fish tubers I go for that. And then when it comes to my plants, of course it's Dustin's Fish Tanks and Aquarium Co-op. I'm going to group him in there. He is pretty much a plant store, is what he bases his business off of, but a lot of his videos he kind of gets back away from plants. But he is one that is in my top 5 just because he has provided me with so much inspiration to become a fish tuber. He is one of the actual first fish tubers that I started watching, and I just want to thank him for that, because the way that he taught me and the way that I have learned from him, I wanted to replicate that and share my experiences. That way I can help someone the way that he has helped me, and share my story, share all of my awesome experiences that I have gained through this hobby, share it through YouTube, FishTube, to you guys. That way you would be able to see it through my eyes, and that way hopefully one day down the road I would be able to help someone the way that they have helped me. And number 5, this is kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to have to give it to Mass Aquariums, Mike from Mass, because not only did my aquarium box I am a My Aquarium box subscription holder, and I love that product. I get a box every single month, but he is also one of those first people that I started watching. If you go back to his roots, he does a lot of beginners tutorials type stuff, and that is where I'm basically going with my channel because of the inspiration that I've got helping new people, and I really want to thank him for that. And that is the way that I want to go with my channel. So number 5 goes to Mike from Mass over at Mass Aquarium.
Alright, so you can't be mad at none of those guys he mentioned. My personal favorite out of the 5 was Dustin's Fish Tanks. But I think that's because he's a big Wu-Tang fan like me. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I gotta get, look, I'm at Taco Bell, y'all. I mean Taco. Hey, I got one more question for old Kendall. Check him out.
And number 5 is going to be, what is the end game for you as far as YouTube goes? So, I don't really see an end game, at least not anytime soon. So, I started doing YouTube to help people. So as long as I continue to help people, as long as people continue to support my channel, then I'm going to keep rolling with it. I know that it's really, really hard, especially for people like myself. Sometimes I work 60 to 80 hours a week, and to find time to do a video or a live stream, it's extremely difficult. Like, I have a family as well, and just to squeeze that time in there, especially managing a fish room, it's just absolutely crazy. But I'm still going to bust them out as long as people are giving me the support, and eventually, if I make a little bit of money, that's going to help me out. That's going to help support my hobby, and it's going to help me put more money into what I'm doing. That way I can come up with some different stuff, and then in return, record it, upload it to FishTube, and then in return, share it to you guys. So it's just one big cycle, and that's kind of where I want to go. I haven't even really been thinking about making any money. I'm really, really small, and I know people do make money off YouTube, and that's not my initial thought, but if it does come down in the long run, then that's going to be awesome as well, especially if something did blow up to where I could cut back on my hours. That way I could spend more time in here, spend more time with you all. That would be completely amazing, and spend more time with my family as well. But that is my end goal, even though I don't really see an end goal right now for YouTube. But that's what I got for those 5 questions. I just want to thank you, Aquafunk, one more time for allowing me to come on your channel and share these 5 questions. That way your viewers can get to know me and my channel a little bit better. But thank you, I appreciate it, brother, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you.
Alright, so that's Kendall with Otter Aquatics, and like I said, I don't normally do spotlight videos or just anybody. I have to watch a video and be like, wow, you know what I mean? And for me, not being good at plants and watching him and him making it and putting it in a way that's easy for me to digest, I really appreciate it. I appreciate his channel. I suggest if you're thinking about getting into plants and you don't want to feel like you're being overwhelmed with all this massive verbiage, go check out Kendall. He'll do you right, and I think you might be inspired yourself to do some things with it as easy as he makes it look. But anyway, I'm gonna put his stuff in the description below. Hit him up, let him know Aquafunk sent you. Deuces.